Yet I can't do this anymore.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.
We're excited, really we are, that we've created for you free access to over 503 episodes of Life's Inside Track, where we share real estate insider tips, not trips. Tips.
We should do trips.
We will do some trips. We could do some real estate insider trips, building wealth, making house home. And the great news is you get access to them from home, from the office, or even on the go. Okay. Serious question.
Yes.
What can't you do it? Why are you smiling? Because you were angry a minute ago.
Yeah.
So what can't you do? Is it the relationship or is it the argument?
It's the argument.
Okay. I can handle you can't do
Yes.
that anymore.
So for many, many years, we would fight. Right?
We
still
started calling it heated fellowship because it sounded better.
We still have those once in a while because
Yeah,
we're passionate people.
Really?
Yes, we're passionate lovers and we're passionate fighters.
Yeah, I know. It's not good. So what we're going to learn in this episode is how do you learn to say what you, not what you really are thinking in the moment, but really what you actually mean.
What, you mean put a filter on it?
Yeah, put a filter on it.
Zip it, Skippy?
Zip it, Skippy. Yep. Because what happens when you don't is what?
Well, usually you say things you regret later.
Exactly.
Or what happens is you say things and someone takes it the wrong way. So to give you context to that saying about I can't take it anymore, what would happen is in the past, we would escalate. So
explode, escalate, expand, exaggerate.
Those are good E words.
Well, yeah, because those are all things in an excited tone, but there was no smile happening.
No, because we were viciously fighting with one another.
Right.
When I say viciously, I don't mean like physically, but verbally attacking.
Verbally.
And what would occur would be, I want to retreat.
Right. So he would exit. He would exit the room. So like there's another great E word,
yes,
right?
Exit the room. Yes, it's a great E word. Thanks. Because I didn't want it to go to physical. Because I was feeling so inside that the next step was punch somebody. And that's not a good idea.
That's not a great idea.
So many times, historically, men will withdraw from a disagreement.
Yeah, more often than not.
Because they don't want to go to fisticuffs. And women, like if you ever noticed a woman having an argument with another woman, usually if one starts to pull away, the other will follow and want to get in their face.
They'll pursue.
They'll pursue and get in their face. Well, if two men are having an argument and I go get in his face, I'm going to get a fist in my face. So
why is that funny?
Because it's hilarious. Because what do you want? If you leave the room because we're having an argument, you want me to go follow you.
Yes, I do.
Yes. And if I leave the room because we're having an argument, I want you to leave me alone.
Right. No touch, no talk, no nothing. And so as you're hearing this story, I hope you're not getting a picture that we're volatile all the time, because we're not volatile all the time. And the great news is through the last 40 years, that's why lessons learned from 40 years is kind of insightful, even if you're not the fighting kind, because we have lots of friends that say they've never had an argument. They've never had heated escalation. And then Ken will always say, I don't believe them. They're delusional. I say that's not true.
One of them's too submissive.
No, just different people are different people. So it may be that your arguments are quiet retreats, that there isn't any escalation, that it looks very differently, and yet the impact still is very similar. And that's what we have learned over the last many, many years. It's not so much how you fight. It's really about how do you navigate between the fights.
Yeah.
Or the lack of speaking or the lack of connecting. It's how do you work through that and how short can you make it? So what's happened for us, and we hope has happened for you, the longer you're in relationship, is that the intensity of what is happening that isn't going well, the duration of what's happening that isn't ideal for your relationship, and the frequency are getting shorter, longer, and less intense.
Shorter, longer?
Shorter, longer between.
Oh, okay.
Longer between the challenges,
from time to time.
which is really good. That was awesome because I thought I was so clear, and clearly I wasn't clear.
Mm-hmm.
There's my 3 C's, but they're all clear. No clarity today. So really, the nice thing is that the duration of the upset is shorter.
Mm-hmm.
The frequency of the upset is shorter,
Mm-hmm.
and the frequency gets further and further away. And the intensity of the upset is less intense.
Yes. And the repair comes quicker and better. So that's taken years. It took us like 30 years to learn this.
And we're still learning it.
Yes. And maybe you might say, that's not me. Or maybe you're saying, yeah, I just had that happen yesterday or last month or whatever. And what we learned was, I do need to retreat because it was escalating and I'm getting angrier and angrier. And usually it's we're tired. I'm tired, you're tired, whatever, we're stressed. And so what I learned to say was, I can't do this anymore right now.
Right now.
I need a break. We're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I will bring it back up.
Right.
In a calmer state later.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the secret is, you know what? Sometimes I'm a man, I'm compartmentalized, and once the anger was gone and the relationship's kind of working
well
again, I wouldn't bring it back up because it's gone. I forgot it. But it's smoldering in Yetta's head. It's just, you can see it. It's just a little ember there smoldering. And then if something went wrong, that just burst into flames. That's a good
great
picture, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great picture.
Just thought that one up.
Yeah, I know you did.
So what I needed to do is bring it back up, pour some cooling waters on it, and snuff it out. Because I used to say Yetta would get historical.
Mm-hmm.
Not hysterical, well, that too, but she would get historical because she was bringing things back up that we hadn't had true closure on.
Right. So bottom line here is pause. Pause when you want to say something that you know not say, that you know you ought not say, because it's going to hurt and cause grief. Pause even when you want to shut down and get super quiet. Pause and think for a minute and then share, you know what, we're going to come back to this. We're going to be okay. Like when we both learn to say to each other, I know we're not thriving right in this moment. We're going to be okay because we are in it for.
We'll even be better than okay.
Yeah. But as long as he said it was good, we were going to be okay, that was good. And even if it meant we agreed not to deal with it tonight. Like I know we're not to take anger to bed, not let the sun go down on our anger. I love that. And yet sometimes if you're too tired, you're better to take a pause and pray and just bring peace back into your being and agree to address it at another time when you're refreshed. Because when you're not refreshed, maybe you're a little bit like me, you're not so brilliant, you're not so kind, and you're not so together.
Everything is new in the dawn, right?
Yeah,
everything has a fresh perspective after a sleep. And if you've agreed to come back to it, good things can happen.
It really will. So remember the pause, like ultimately just that single little word. We actually used to put our pause up in the air so that we could remember to pause. It's kind of like I'm retreating. It's kind of like my white flag. So you may be listening to this or you may be watching this on YouTube. If you're watching, it's a lot more entertaining. So you might want to go over there and check us out. And really, it's about that we're thrilled, that we're privileged to have the ability to come alongside you and position you for generational legacy.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward together with the Decker team.